just want to say intensity happening. I don't know if you've been feeling it. I know a lot of people have been feeling it. We are in two of the most intense years, 2019, 2020, coming up. Um, Lots happening here. Yesterday I tried to post a video. I went on Facebook like live, but my camera's kind of glitchy. My phone has a crazy microphone. It's the oddest thing. I could film with this and I'll have no problem, like the camera on the phone. But going live on Facebook, the mic won't work properly. But if I'm on Messenger, it works. Sometime on WhatsApp calls, it works and it doesn't. Yeah, I should get a new phone, but I love the camera on this, and I really do like this phone. So we'll see if I get that fixed. But regardless of all of that, I am so grateful for this amazing video that I just got to watch live. It actually was live stream on Facebook. Sif, thank you so much. Philip, that was amazing. All about self-realization and remembering who we truly are within, when we drop into the heart space. And it's funny because I noticed that I was totally the one like commenting and asking questions, but that's like the Gemini in me. I'm very inquisitive, and my sun, my Venus, my North Node, and my Jupiter are all in Gemini in the eighth house, which is Scorpio's house. And that's depth and other people. And I have a Scorpio ascendant and Neptune in Scorpio. So I am like to be talking about things, to be bringing things with meaning to, other people. It's part of my calling. The North Node is the part of destiny in our charts. And I have Leo on the 10th house, which is a career house. Leos are in the spotlight. The sun rules that. So this is part of my path, going deep and connecting with people. And so I'm really grateful when I have the opportunity to be able to drop in and listen to other people and connect with them about the magic really that's underneath everything, like that we are source. And it's helpful for me in this time too, because my dad's had dementia probably for like at least 7 or 8 years now. And today he forgot his caregiver's name. And she shot me a text when I was coming home from running to get groceries. But when they came back from lunch, that's where she had taken my parents, when he didn't remember who she was or didn't remember her name. I asked her what happened, and she said, I noticed that like he was looking around, he was like touching his fork, and there was moments of like he didn't know where he was, what was going on. And she asked him if he was okay, and he looked at her, he's like, "I'm sorry, I don't remember your name." And she kind of tried to play it off, but she's like, "I'm Queen Mary or Queen Mother, whatever you want to call me, just QM for short," and kind of, try to make it light so he didn't like freak out. And he's like, "Oh, okay." And but it's really sad because it's like that part of dementia. It's always it's a decline, but you never know how quickly or how slowly the person's going to decline. And I'm leaving for 6 weeks in the beginning of July to go visit the other part of my family in Mount Shasta, and I'm thinking, oh my God, like what if I come home and he doesn't remember who I am? I'm his daughter. Like I caregive, I live here, I take care of him the other part of the time too, and my mom. But I'm gonna do video chats because my family needs me too. The kids need me, my daughters need me. I've been pulled really, like I felt pulled in many directions for the past few years. The amount of pulling now is a little bit lessened, but it's still there. And really, this video chat, like there's ways I can handle this. And my friend's mom just passed away like last week from Alzheimer's. And here's the thing too, like you could have the healthiest lifestyle and you could still like have that happen. You just don't even know. Like his mom was amazing, man. She had this retreat center in Mount Shasta, like on 5 acres, and they had a teepee. She'd do massage in there. There was a sauna. She would detox people, like detoxify them with these amazing like superfoods and deep greens and all these things. And she still came down with Alzheimer's. It's just like, ugh. So, in line with that, I'm thinking, oh, all these health supplements. Yeah, no, it's definitely, I want to eat better, and I do eat well. But I'm also thinking I'm still going to enjoy my life, because even somebody like that who was, so freaking way purer than I am, look what happened. And just so many things like running around my mind right now, like the talk today about self-realization. And, I remember It's the true essence of who we are. But I remember this one vivid time when I was like 3 or 4, looking in the mirror in our downstairs bathroom. We had like 8 by 8 squares of glass. They were mirror, and they were all put together on a wall, so it made up this huge mirror. And I remember vividly staring at myself and looking myself in the eyes, and I heard this voice that said, I know you're Dina, but who are you really? And I remember thinking, wow, who is that? But thinking on it now, it's like, that's the true essence of who I am. So regardless of all this outer stuff going on, like having the trust and the faith to know that I'm always taken care of, no matter what happens, even if things look bleak, that the best possible outcome will come. And especially when I do the inner work, when I don't run away. And that was another big part of the live video today, was talking about, we're mirrors for each other. And if we're really dropping into who we are, it's to do the work when the triggers come up, to not run, to stand in it and feel it and work through it. And our relationships, whether it's like your most intimate partner, your siblings, your family, we all trigger each other. And we have to do the work, because if we choose not to, it's going to happen with somebody else. Like you're going to maybe get into another relationship and it's going to look different because the person looks different and they sound different maybe, and maybe they're shorter or taller or have curly hair instead of straight or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, if we don't take care of looking at what was triggered in us by our former partner, it's going to come up. Or what our siblings said to us. If we choose to blow them off, then you know what? Some coworker at the job site is going to it's going to be a different situation, but similar. It's going to bring up the same issue for us to face. And that was really powerful, because I was so grateful that they were mentioning that, because I am working on my stuff, and I've mostly, when I'm aware of it, I always work on it, but there's been times when I wasn't super aware. Like years ago, I was in rehab, partying way too much with that white crap, when I was younger. Not proud of it, but that's how it is. It's like part of the soul's work, with Pluto ruling my chart. Let's like break stuff down, go to the depths, and then transform even higher. And I remember the therapist, the psychologist, she was trying to get me to crack. And she really, really was trying to get me to see that, no, you don't just like party and drink and all that because you want to have a good time. There's some pain under there. Just like when they mentioned today in the video, the spiritual bypass. People that tend to do spiritual things and live this spiritual life so they can avoid looking at the issues that they have that keep coming up, but then they just keep adding another layer of it with, I'm going to go to this practice, or I'm going to follow this group, or whatever it is, running to avoid yourself, like staying busy so that you don't have to really drop in and feel what's going on. You're hoping that it's just going to go away. And that's likened to the elephant in the middle of the room for a family that doesn't like to talk about issues. And I know that a lot of us have families like that. I wasn't raised like that. We always talked about things, but I definitely have been around families that are like that. And just because you ignore the elephant in the middle of the rug doesn't mean it's going to go away anytime soon. So for that to have come up today, it felt really good to know, yeah, like look at that. There goes a dragonfly, Ixchel, the Mayan goddess. I always think of her when I see them. But I can remember like when I really started to get in touch with my essence after I came out of that rehab. And so let's get back to the therapist. She was trying to get me to see that I really had a lot of pain under there. And I'm like, nope, I just like to have a good time with my friends. And I remember the last day I was there, I was in a 28-day program. I had to do a one-on-one with her to say goodbye, to close the circle, per se. And finally, like something got to me and I started crying, and like the armor came off, the walls that I had built up around my heart, because I didn't want to be hurt. I want to face that part of me, came crashing down, and she started crying. I remember that. And she's like, there it is. I knew there was a chink in that armor somewhere. I just needed to get to it. And the reality is that there's times when we can't get to somebody else's armor. We can't. There's nothing we can do about it, and that sucks. It can be so flippin' heartbreaking. But at the same time, if you're willing to drop into the lesson that they're bringing up for you, because it's not just, you triggered them, they triggered you too. Like, look at your shit. Then you can propel yourself forward, and right now I feel so propelled, like so propelled. I'm so excited about this year being just a deep transformational year. And Even this with my dad, you know, like him starting to the memory starting to go a bit. I have him now, like right now in this moment. I have to be present with what's here and to not in my head project down the road, oh God, what's going to happen like when I'm gone for 6 weeks and will he remember me? Like, you know, we have video chat, we have other things to keep that, but it's beyond my control. It's beyond my control. There's nothing I can do. So I have to sit with that and just take it day by day and be grateful that I can video chat him while I'm away and, you know, he could at least see my face and maybe that will help. Or maybe he won't, like, forget who I am for a long time. I have no idea. But I just wanted to touch in and give my gratitude and, you know, a little bit of my apprehension of what's going on with him and, like, just to be real because the spiritual bypass, I can't even imagine living like that. Like, ugh, that just grosses me out. And it's not to be in judgment of people. Like, I get it. People don't want to look at the shit. I didn't want to look at my stuff. When Kate was trying to get me to see it, I was like, ah, you're crazy, you know? I mean, so until you're ready, you're not ready. And that's just how that is. But to be in gratitude for those who are not ready, you know, to like face the mirror with us, that even without them, we can still look in our own side of the mirror, you know, we can still do our inner work. Like that's the highest calling for us. Like you're being pushed and propelled. Are you gonna like take that step and do it, or are you just gonna run the other direction, you know? And I've always found that when I am faced with something and I decide to work through it, that that's the best for me. Like looking down the road, even though there's anxiety as I'm going through it, looking back 6 months from then or a year from then or 2 years, you know, later, I look back and go, wow, I can't believe I survived that. But look at how far I've come. I'm so much like better in my heart and who I am as a real me than I was with all those layers that I had. Kind of reminds me of the house we had in McLeod. My ex-husband and I had a house that we bought, and we had a washing machine installed one day, and as the man's, you know, hooking it up with the valve, he turned the valve too hard and the spigot like completely shattered and water shot across the floor. To about 2 inches of water had flooded the floor before they got it shut off, and we had to get it, you know, taken care of, and had a team come in and suck the water out and rip the flooring up because it got rotted. But what was crazy was instead of like the linoleum tile that was there and one layer of subflooring, which would be normal, there were like 3 layers of subflooring. And the insurance company didn't want to pay for it. They're like, nope, we will pay for 1 subflooring and 1 layer of linoleum. And I remember telling them that State Farm was looking really good. We were with another company at the time. And I'm like, you know what? Then we'll drop you because we've been customers for a long time and I'm not having it. You need to pay this claim. And they did. But those layers remind me of the layers that we build around our heart to protect ourselves. And something too that Sif shared today, and it's true, it's just like, you know what? Protect you from what? You don't need to be protected. You are source. There's nothing to protect yourself from. It's an illusion. So I pray that we all break through the illusion, you know, that we are these bodies or we are these minds. Because it's truly like when the head and the heart come into the sacred marriage and you operate from those energetics and you trust that no matter how crazy things look in the moment, the universe always has your back. That best outcome will always happen if you just allow things to unfold. That's my wish for you. And I need to remember that for myself too. Take, you know, my own medicine and just be in deepest grace and love. Thank you. Have a great day.